Hey everyone, this is King Godzilla Fan02 here. I apologize for not making any videos for a while. It's just that life has been busy for me lately, but I'm back now. And today it's about a topic about Godzilla's quote unquote mischaracterization in the latest MonsterVerse projects, especially ones by Adam Wingard. So I'm sure you're all aware of this, but basically in Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla Kong the New Empire, people have fans, quote unquote fans. I say that because I don't think they actually are. They go around the internet like Twitter, Reddit, and all that BS that Godzilla is out of character, how he's too much of a jerk, too much of an asshole, and how he's not a noble piece of guardian, lone samurai that he was in 2014 in King of the Monsters. And to that I call bullshit on that. Sorry for the swear, but I just need to get this out. But no, Godzilla has not been mischaracterized one bit. Alright? Listen, if you understand the lore, you'll know what I mean. So, in 2014, the Mutos are reawakened by the humans, especially by the male Muto. So, if you remember that scene in that movie, then, in King of the Monsters, terrorists reawaken Ghidorah from his Antarctic prison, and when Godzilla's trying to kill Ghidorah in Isla de Mara Ocean, the military drops the oxygen destroyer on him, which nearly kills Godzilla, and thought it would kill Ghidorah, but it didn't, which basically caused Ghidorah to take control of the Titans for a while and nearly caused Earth's destruction. And on top of that, Godzilla lost his underwater lair in that same movie, and although he was revived, he no longer had a home. This was before he went to Rome. And then, in Godzilla vs. Kong, Apex decides to use Ghidorah's skull to build Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla is understandably pissed off at this, and so attacks human bases, specifically Apex bases, because he's trying to hunt down Ghidorah, and in the meantime, Kong interrupts him, and because Godzilla had a history with the great apes, he thinks Kong, especially with him off of Skull Island, thinks is challenging his title. And then Mechagodzilla in the latter half gets possessed by Ghidorah and nearly kills Godzilla, and of course Kong saves Godzilla, and after that, even if Kong and Godzilla had a truce, Godzilla didn't trust Kong. And in the next movie, it's explicitly explained that if Kong were to enter the surface world again and do an alpha call, Godzilla would view that as a challenge again. And that happened in the Egypt scene, where Kong unknowingly gave out an alpha call, and Godzilla thought Kong was challenging him and thought he broke the truce. And on top of that, Godzilla has to deal with multiple Titans breaking his rule. Like Scylla, he had to teach her 2 times not to attack human civilization, and yet she deliberately disobeyed him, and so that left Godzilla no choice but to kill her. And even in the novelization of the movie, it is explained that Godzilla didn't want to kill Scylla, but he had no choice because he knew she wouldn't learn her lesson again. And then there's Tiamat, which not only Godzilla fought Tiamat, so they have a history, but also Tiamat is really a dangerous titan. If you read her lore, she can boil the ocean, that can cause steam trails to be seen from space. She is hyper-aggressive, and on top of that, she evolved in that layer with the pink energy, which meant that if she wanted to, she could have been a total threat to Godzilla. And you gotta remember, in the movie, explained in the novel, Godzilla was super stressed out. He didn't know Scar King was alive, and that Shimo was now his captive, and so Godzilla needed to evolve no matter the circumstances. And so because of that, Godzilla was in a rush to evolve, to stop Scar King and his army, and so that's why he had to kill Tiamat. He was in a dire situation, and as I explained before, he thought Kong, when he came up to the surface in Egypt, when he gave out that alpha call, Godzilla thought he was challenging him again, and so threatened to kill Kong, and nearly did before Mothra came to stop Godzilla and tell him that Kong was there to help him defeat Scar King and Shimo. So what I'm trying to say is that Godzilla is not out of character. You have to remember, being king of the monsters for him is really stressful, and the humans obviously never learned their lessons. And so Godzilla is acting more and more aggressive because he just can't deal with it anymore. That's what I think. And to all you moaners about saying that oh, he's out of character. No, he's not. He's in incredible stress throughout the movies. You can see that. And I want to call out this one person, Sheriff G, whatever their name is a user on Twitter who claims that Godzilla is out of character, but if they actually read the movies and the novels, they would know that Godzilla is under complete stress. But no, because Godzilla wasn't the same as he was in King of the Monsters, he thinks that Godzilla's out of character. I need to tell you this. Godzilla has always been an ass in every incarnation. No matter how much he's a hero, he is going to be an egotistical asshole, alright? That's just how Godzilla is. It always has been, and always will be. And of course, Monster vs. Godzilla, he's a good guy, but he's not a good guy in the likes of Kong. Godzilla doesn't care about humanity as much as Kong. Godzilla cares about protecting the planet from threats. He doesn't protect specific humans. He protects the balance of nature and the planet. Alright? Sorry, I needed to get all of that out, but yeah, I needed to call that out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I do apologize for not making videos throughout this month because, well, life and all, but I promise I'll be making more if some things don't hold me back. But that's all for today. See you soon. Goodbye, fellow G fans.